Wonderful. So welcome everyone to another Growth You webinar in our webinar series. We do these about every 2 to 3 weeks, and we love to come on and talk about all things learning, growth, harnessing the power of our beautiful brains to feel better, to get the things in our life that we want, and to really expand love and kindness in ourselves. And I know these two ladies here with me today will echo what we're talking about and what I've just said. So with me today is Kim Nolan. Kim Nolan comes to us from the East Coast, and she has been with Growth U for many years now, and she is passionate about helping people uncover their gifts, their passions through this exploration of growth and really harnessing the power of connecting our conscious and unconscious brain. And we're going to talk about that in a minute. And then below me, and I'm depending on how you're seeing your screen, is Ms. Laura Hyman, and she comes to us from North Carolina. And Laura's also been with Growth U as long as I've been here, which is many years, and is also very passionate about helping people grow and discover their inner power. And both these ladies are going to be doing something special, which you'll learn about later in the webinar coming up. But the reason I have them here, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm Denise Mend. I'm one of the directors at Growth U, and I'm coming to you from British Columbia, Canada. So we are a global organization here at Growth U. We're all over, and we love to connect with people all around the world and empower people to feel more confident and more courageous. And that's what it's all about today. So, you may have signed up for this webinar because you felt a little stuck. You may have seen the title, and it said, building courage. It's like, oh, I need that. I need some more courage in my life. And I'm going to be asking any of you who are on here live why you signed up today. What do you feel like you need more courage in? So you might feel stuck. You might feel like you're struggling to make decisions. You might feel a little anxious when something big comes up in your life and you don't know what to do. You might feel like when challenges come up, you just can't move through them. You can't just take that first step. And so today, you are going to go away with something that is concrete, that will help you to make those decisions that you know you need to make, that will help you to have the courage to take the first step. So I want to share my screen, and then we'll talk about what the heck are we even talking about here? What does she mean by courage and building, taking that first step? So building courage is really about tapping in to your inner capability. We all have untapped capability. And neuroscientists, we love neuroscience here at Growth U. We love harnessing the power of the brain and learning about that. And there's probably a little bit of debate about how much untapped capacity we have in our brains, but let's just say that we probably use about 10 to 30 to 40% of our brain's capability. There's so much in our brain that we're learning about that we can access with more impact and more power. And what we understand is that the law of belief, which is something that is fundamental in all psychology, right? So when you talk about harnessing the power of what we believe, right? The law of belief states that whatever you believe and feel to be true long enough will become your reality. So all of us have built beliefs over our lifetime. Many of them were passed on to us from our parents, our grandparents, our teachers, our friends. And I know everyone here watching today and then watching on replay will know that they have beliefs that they don't even think about. When you go to the store, you may have a belief about what's going to be there when you get there. When you drive to work, you likely have a belief about how easy or how difficult it will be. Everybody has a story like that. And so I wanted to ask both Laura and Kim, and I really want to thank them because they found out about me bringing them onto this webinar not too long ago. So they are being very courageous in coming on here and answering a few questions. And Elena, you being on here live, if you have any questions, please put them in the comments and we will we'll chat about them. We'd love to hear why you wanted to build some more courage. And before we do that, Kim, what in your life have you learned through Growth U and harnessing the power of belief and perhaps changing some beliefs that helped you to accomplish something recently?
So thank you so much, Denise, for that beautiful question. Understanding the power of belief has been incremental in my growth. And one of the things for me that I'm currently working on is actually becoming a big sister. And I had to work on a lot of limiting beliefs that I had to work towards what I really ultimately desired. So being able to understand what those limiting beliefs were and the power to reframe them into something really beautiful for all the things that I really desired and wanted to do has been really incremental to doing the things that make me feel happy and fulfilled and joyful and giving back the way that I really truly wanted to in the community. So understanding the power of belief and what we choose either consciously or unconsciously has all the direction to how we actually do or how we go about what we want in our life.
Yeah.
So it's been really beautiful for me.
And all of us at Growth U have, we all meet once a week or more on different calls as we do programs together. And these two ladies are some of our strongest members and our master trainers. And Kim has shared this story with all of us, and we've followed her along on this journey. So before I let you off the hook, Kim, can you tell us one of the beliefs that you had before when you were thinking about becoming a big sister that stopped you from actually following through on the process, and then how that changed and what the belief is now?
Sure. So one of the big things in full transparency is that I went through an adoption loss and I was no longer going to be able to be a mom. And that was a big loss for me in my life. And one of the things that I recognized as I was going forward to try to be a big sister is I didn't want to feel the rejection again. Although the process was really different, it was really similar in my mind. It was a belief that I had. And one of the ways that I reframed that was recognizing that there was something grander on the other side, is that I didn't have to have that limiting belief of just because what happened before is going to be the same thing that happens now. So that allowed the freedom for me to be able to step into the power of who I really wanted to become, which was to be a role model for the children of our future. And it now empowered me to feel so much better about myself because I just recognized something that wasn't myself. It was just a pattern that was holding me back. So to reframe that belief has been really freeing, honestly. And it's been really empowering to be able to become who I ultimately want to become.
Thank you so much, Kim. That's such a powerful story. And thank you for being vulnerable to share that. What Kim just described, everyone, is exactly what I want everyone to hear today, is that she had a story, right, about and went through something that was really, really challenging and gut-wrenchingly devastating. And then for her to shift that belief, and we all know here how much work Kim did to tell her unconscious brain, because this, guys, this is brain science. This isn't just thoughts, right? Whatever we tell ourselves and experiences that we have, right, that creates patterns in our unconscious brain. And our unconscious brain will then continue to help us and protect us and keep us safe. And this is what stops us from doing something new. And so Kim, we know, had to tell herself over and over and over again, and this is what the unconscious brain, this is what it recognizes as consistency. So what Kim told herself consistently over time, that she could do it in spite of the devastating loss, right? And this was hard work. She worked very hard at this, that then she believed that she could contribute in a different way and become a big sister. And we all got to celebrate with her when she clicked the button and decided and sent the email to start the process. And we all celebrated big time with her. So this is a process of shifting beliefs, right? So what we tell ourselves matters because our unconscious brain is listening, right? So the more we tell ourselves something contrary to an old belief, that shifts it, right? So Laura, I know you have a story. So what was a belief that you shifted?
Well, I'm a 60-year-old grandma, and about seven years ago, I decided to take care of my health and take care of me. And my belief was that once I hit 200, going back, told that when I was 19. So it kind of stored in the files. And for 30 years, I did yo-yo diets. I did, I'd do everything for a couple weeks and then I'd go back to doing what I did before. Little did I know that I was just hitting deception. And instead of furthering my ride and my journey into my goals, I would stop and then go back to doing what I did before. My belief was that there was nothing that could be done until I found a way to do it, and found a community that supported me, and had to borrow the belief that I could lose weight. But once you borrow it, you're telling yourself that. So I convinced myself I could do it. It's basically convincing ourselves. And then I started doing things for me. And it's that inner power you find when you start believing something you really, really, really want. You can feel it, see it, taste it. It's a superpower, and I don't think a lot of us in my generation took the time to ask those questions of ourselves. What do I believe? What can I do? Because my generational beliefs told me there was nothing that could be done. So I settled. So don't settle. That's the best way to do it, is just to believe you can. 112 pounds later, life is good. And I'm in a lot more control of my life because I follow my beliefs instead of what I think everyone thinks I should do.
Laura, again, super powerful story. And, if you hang out with us here at Growth You, you're going to hear all sorts of really powerful stories. So thank you, ladies, for those. And what Laura described is another huge example of, and welcome Tammy, is a huge example of she shifted a belief, right? So I'm going to get a little sciencey on you for a moment and know that when your unconscious brain is working, right? And our unconscious brain really does all the automatic things that our body does, right? So when we get up in the morning and we do our morning routine without even thinking about it, that is the unconscious brain at work. So the effort is low, our competence is super high, right? How many of us have driven to work and not even remembered how we got there? Or in case of my husband, who is a teacher, in the summertime, drives into town, ends up at school when he doesn't have to be there because that's his automatic route. So we have patterns, we have millions of patterns like that run because we have been conditioned or have conditioned ourselves to do those things over our lifetime. So the beautiful thing is when we use our conscious brain, which is the beautiful prefrontal cortex that can imagine and create and learn all of these beautiful new things and new ideas, when we use our conscious brain to say something over and over again, then the unconscious brain starts to sit up and pay attention. Now, if we only do it once, right, it doesn't change anything. However, if we do something over and over again, now we change a pattern or a habit. And Laura, how long does it take to shift a pattern or a habit? How many days?
Ooh, at least 21.
At least 21.
At
And
least.
my understanding is probably it's more like 30 to 60 days. And depending on how old that pattern is, if we've been running that pattern for our entire lifetime, right? If it's a pattern that we have when we gather with our relatives, right? If you feel a certain way when you step into the room with your in-laws or old, cousins, and you don't particularly love that feeling, that's a pattern you probably developed when you were 5 years old, and it stuck with you, and it kept you safe from something. So to change something, so for example, for Kim to change her belief about clicking the email and signing up to be a big sister, she worked on the belief for many months, and she can tell you that. How many months did you work on that, Kim?
So in full transparency, it wasn't months, it's actually been years. So
Years.
yeah.
Yeah. And so this work, the more consistent we are in telling ourselves, I am capable of, and you get to fill in the blank, right? So whatever you feel like you want to change, you get to fill in the blank with that statement. So Elena and Tammy, if you can write in the comments, I'm sorry I can't bring you on screen or video or audio, because it's just the way the webinars are set up. But if you want to put in the comments something that you want to change, we would love to hear it, or why you decided to come and join the webinar. We would love to hear from you in the comments below. And whatever anybody else is watching on replay, something that you want to change, that is an affirmation. And probably a lot of you that are watching this have heard affirmations, right? If you have been following Growth U, or you've been doing personal growth or personal development, or learning, or doing any kind of change in yourself, you've heard the word affirmation. So what did Elena say? She said, I want to feel more confident at work and not second guess my contributions or comments in meetings. Oh, love that, Elena. I love that so much. So here's the thing. We know, Elena, just the fact that you're here and that you are investing time in yourself, that you are hugely capable, right? And so, Laura, what would you tell Elena about confidence in meetings?
Oh. We here believe in a power move. So if you've got a favorite song or something that just makes you feel really good, do that on the way to work. That's what I would do every day, especially when you're starting something new, because you've already got uncertainty about what's going to happen when you get there. It's the inner us. It's you have everything you need right inside, so you don't have to look outside for anything. And turn the radio up on the way to work and play your favorite song or affirmations. Say them out loud with feeling. It's interesting when you don't give that feeling to something, the unconscious just hears the blah, blah, blah. You've got to give the feeling, you've got to feel it. So know you're going to do this and how awesome you are.
Yeah.
And how incredible this journey is going to be, getting to know all these new people.
Yes. Yeah. And so what Laura just described is getting into state. So there's actual physiological change that happens when we think about number one, what we want to feel. So Elena, you want to feel more confident, and you want to know that your contributions matter in meetings, right? So what Laura described is, even before you get to work, when we listen to music, we actually create energy in the brain. So there's physiological stuff that happens. And then when you tell yourself, I'm confident, your unconscious brain is listening. And when you state, I know all the stuff I need to know in this meeting. I know it inside and out. I'm as capable as anybody. And honestly, you know what to tell yourself. You know exactly what to tell yourself. And what we know is that when you focus on what you want before a meeting or an interview or something that you're thinking about deciding about, that helps your brain to focus on what you want and focus on your capability. So everything is there. And when we focus on it, that harnesses the connection between the conscious and the unconscious brain. And there is actually physiological changes that happen. You know, we get great hormones happening. There's a hormone called oxytocin, which is a stress hormone, which helps you in times of stress, but it helps you to connect with people around you. And when you listen to music, when you hug somebody, when you move around and dance, we produce more of that. And so there's actual stuff changing when you do that. So before your next meeting, like Laura said, you know, put on your favorite song and whatever you need to tell yourself, but focusing on how you want to feel and what you want in that meeting before it even happens helps to get the brain focused on your inner capability. Now, let me see, Tammy's put something here. I'm always looking to learn, struggle with procrastinating. I know what I need to do. I just stay at a standstill. That, I think Kim might have a little advice for that. Kim, what do you want to tell Tammy about that?
Tammy, I hear you loud and clear. Procrastination it still can be at times a hindrance. Understanding what is holding you back, or for me, when I was understanding what was holding me back, which a lot of times was the power of belief for me. It was what I believed about what I was doing or what I was going after or what I wanted to do. And one of the things that I really am grateful for is that when I learned so much of these tools through Growth U particularly, is that when you understand what it is that is limiting your belief of what you want to move forward to, you have the power to rewrite that story. And then you get to take those action steps to follow through on the things that you want to do. So one of the things that I'm really grateful for is that understanding what was basically holding me back, what was hindering me. I got to be able to rewrite those stories. And now I'm so much more of a proactor in my responses versus being so much more of a reactor and saying, I know I should, I know I want to, I know I have to. It's no more of that. It's I get to, I choose to, I have the power to. It's so much more of a beautiful story when you understand the things that limit you. So that's just a small share of that story.
Love that so much. And you know, so I said earlier in the webinar when I was introducing everybody that these ladies are going to be doing something special coming up, and so these two are going to be advising a program called Fired Up, which starts almost a week from now, so Monday, June 19th. And if you want to learn more and dive deeper into these models, this is a chance to do that. And we know that when people consistently work on building belief and diving into other models that harness the power of connecting your conscious and unconscious brain, you will feel more confident at the end of 30 days. You will have the confidence to make decisions. And here's the thing, guys, we can make decisions and, you know, it doesn't mean that we can't decide again. And this is the thing, is that often we think, oh, if I decide, you know, if I make this decision and act on this, then there's no going back. Well, there's no going back. However, you can go forward and make another decision. So what we know is that when we decide, our brain gets into action and focuses on the things that help us with that decision, because we've disciplined focus on what we want. And so Laura and Kim are going to be advising Fired Up, which is 30 days to building ultimate confidence. And so we would love for anyone here to join us. I'm putting the registration link in the comments. And because you're joining the webinar, there's a special code, and I'm going to put that in the confidence. You see, confidence is on my brain, in the comments. And there's another, real time. I'm just going to type this in here. Possibility. There we go. Okay. I think I spelled that right. So possibility, all caps, will get you a discount when you register before Saturday. So we would love to have you join us for 30 days. Now, Laura, what kind of fun stuff are people going to learn when they hang out with you guys? And I'm going to be there too, by the way. I'm not leading it. I'm just going to do it for fun, because we know here at Growth U that there is no there, that we can always learn and grow and expand our capability. Yeah. So what fun stuff, what might they learn with you? Oh, you're muted, love. You're muted.
Sorry. Here at Growth U, we joke that we all have toolboxes, and all of these models are able to go into your toolboxes of life. And you find that you start picking things up when you do something, like we said, for 30 days, check in, do this little thing with us, and you're going to learn how to accept and understand and appreciate situations. We call that AUA. It's a tool we all use all the time when you're crossing a street, when you're doing anything. It's being aware of what you're doing, and that, like Kim said, you get to choose. This is your life. This is your journey to learn that you are in control. And for many years, I think a lot of us just go with what everybody else says. It's way more fun being able to be with a group of people, talk once a week, find out what we're all learning and what we're all getting out of this. Denise and I have been doing these programs for years, and we take the same one every year and we feel like it's different because we change. So Kim and I would love for you to come and join us and jump in and learn how to get to do things and not have to do things.
Yes. Yeah. And Kim, what's the daily commitment in these programs? How long are people going to have to, because it's like, oh, how long do I have to get in and actually work on stuff?
So great question, Denise. Each day we ask that you take about 15 to 20 minutes. There's a small short video, a little work content for you to be able to reflect on that. And it's just part of the process to be able to become aware of the choices that you want, where your beliefs are going to move you forward to the things that you really want to do.
Yeah. So it's a short little video, as Kim said, 15 to 20 minutes. Some people do it in as short as 5 to 10. And really that's up to you, right? You get to decide how deep you want to dive in. The most fun part is that we all get to hang out once a week and really learn from each other, as Laura said. So Tammy and Elena, we're so glad you joined us. I know that you took away a couple of nuggets today. Thank you for asking such great questions. And for those of you watching on replay, we hope that you join us for Fired Up. And if you want to check out Free Daily Growth, you can get an email every day that reminds you about something to help you focus on what you want. So again, we're so grateful for the work that we get to do here. We really, really admire everybody who seeks to improve, love themselves more. And thank you, Elena. Really great to have you here. And we'll see all of you in Fired Up. Love y'all. Bye.